Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers.
Right?
No judging.
Yeah.
No judging.
And the millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.
Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers. Justin Fox, Sean Kennedy. Sean, thank you very much for joining me on the show.
Justin, backers, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Okay, so very quick bio. You are an insurance professional specializing in
Commercial insurance, business insurance.
Business insurance, awesome. So we've talked a little bit about some of the things for us within backers and doing some different things. Tell us, I guess I'll dive right in. Tell us about an experience in commercial insurance that was the worst nightmare you've ever been in. Let's go real heavy, real
Yeah,
fast.
stories are the best way to talk about insurance.
Right.
It's what sticks the most, right? When you can relate it to something that actually happened.
Right.
There's unfortunately there's way too many nightmares.
All names have been redacted or changed for the protection of those involved, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No animals were harmed in the filming of this movie, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We deal with nightmares on a daily basis. That's kind of what we sell a product that you hope you never need to use.
Right.
But when it comes time to using it, you better have the right product in place. And I could give you a million examples of people that either thought they had the right product in place and when claim comes around and there's a property loss or a liability loss, next thing they know, they weren't dealing with a professional or they didn't do enough research themselves to put themselves in a position to have what they thought they bought cover their loss. And it's all about exposure and it's all about risk management in our world. And you got to put yourself as when you're putting your business owner hat on in a position where you've covered off your exposures and that's what you're buying. And too many people, Justin, and as you know, and you deal with startup companies at Backer every day, everyone is trying to save dough. And that's just the reality of the world we live in. Whether that is your personal insurance, which you got your home, auto, your cottage, if you got your personal items like tools, jewelry, art, get help. Make sure you can buy it online and you might save a few bucks. And I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, but make sure you know what you're buying. Read the fine print because no two insurance policies are the exact same, and they're not. And at the end of the day, insurance companies charge rates, and from one insurance company to another insurance company, rates are fairly competitive. So if there's a huge drop in premium when you go to another market, there's probably something that's different there in terms of coverage.
There's a change in the coverage.
You got it.
Yeah.
And you go on the corporate side of things where, as a business owner like yourself, you got potentially, if you own a building or you have you lease a space and you have betterments and improvements, or your office contents, you have stock, of course, these numbers are always fluctuating. You may have cargo, your employees may have goods that need to be covered.
Right.
And there's a million different forms of coverage that you can add, and I'm not going to bore you with the forms of coverage. But again, bring somebody in that's a professional, a real consultant that's going to walk you through the coverages you need and the coverages you don't need. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to have something in your policy that you probably don't even need, but you might have something that you do need. And again, no one wants to buy insurance. No one wants to buy insurance. Right. But everyone wants it when there's the claim.
No one wants to get divorced, right? But 50% of marriages end that way. But yeah, exactly. So it's you talk about E&O and D&O, like errors and omissions, directors and officers, liability, all those different things. So I want to hear a story. Tell us a story of a nightmare example where maybe, let's say, someone didn't have insurance or didn't have the right coverage, or what are some of the, give me some of the horror stories that you've heard out there where I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what are examples that you've seen where insurance either played or didn't play a role negatively in a business?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can start with property. We've seen claims where people look for deals on property, and they might tell us that the value of their property is lesser than it is, and there's a co-insurance clause in every insurance policy. So they have a $50,000 water claim just on a small claim, and I've seen this happen. We had it recently where we took over a policy that just went through a claim with a broker, and he had $50,000 worth of betterments and improvements insurance. There was water leaking from a unit above. Their floor was destroyed. They had to come in, rip 6 inches of drywall up to avoid mold growth. Just the restoration bill was $35,000, and we haven't even started rebuilding yet. And they're the ones looking at their broker going, you had me at $50,000 worth of coverage. Give me a break. And that doesn't even start to cover the actual restoration. And then there's the business interruption component. Another good one we saw, you mentioned directors and officers insurance. Recently, I had a company reach out to me, and everything will remain anonymous, but the company owner's son-in-law, who was married to the company's owner's daughter,
I think I know where this is going, right?
Employee.
I think I know where this is going, right? This is the 50% end in no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, and you hear it from one side of the story always. And anyways, there's an accusation against the company, and long story short, what came in as what we thought was going to be a small, potential situation turned into a massive sexual harassment case.
Wow.
And the company I was dealing with, thankfully had purchased it was a $2,000 directors and officers policy, which includes EPL, employment practices liability, which is sexual harassment, wrongful dismissal, discrimination, and it protects business owners from those suits. And they had a policy, and that payout, it's ongoing, but it's going to be well over 100,000.
Wow.
And it's a $2,000 policy for something you truly have zero control over. What your employees do, let alone your own son-in-law does. It just goes to show it's protection. It's money well spent.
Son-in-law is probably more again, especially if it goes south with the daughter, right? He's probably even more inclined to be that much more, disgruntled, if you will, right? So
yeah, absolutely. He was hesitant to use the insurance coverage because what started small, it turned ugly quick, and like I said, it turned out to be and I'm not going to get into the personal element between relationship, but it was a good investment.
Yeah. it's like a prenup, right? It's a prenup.
You got to get it in place. You got to do it before it happens.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's talk. So your background. So how long have you been doing this? How long have you been in the?
10 years in the business now.
10 years in the business. Okay.
Starting to build a real nice book and specializing in different segments that of different businesses.
Right. Interesting. And so what let's take a step. So let's say I'm a startup. I run a startup, early stage. What kind of process, what's the best way to go about even thinking about finding insurance, coming across someone like yourself? Is it, what advice would you give to an entrepreneur? Should I be just Google insurance and sort of pick the first guy that comes up with an ad, or what do you recommend, or how should somebody go about doing all of this?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I know you deal with a lot of startup businesses on your platform. It's nice to deal with somebody that I find, at least personally, someone that you trust, at least, at the very least. Business insurance is still very difficult to buy online unless your business fits inside a box, and I really mean that, where there's 10 questions and you can tick off yes, no, which 99 out of 100 businesses do not fit into that box.
Right.
And it's going that direction. Eventually, in this world, everything will be available online. But a very difficult
AI,
process.
right? thanks to AI and
You got
AI
it.
technology,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And there are certainly brokers that are building those platforms, and they're doing a great job. Given the certain markets that will fit into that.
Right.
But some of the if it's any bit complicated at all, I'd reach out to somebody in the industry that knows the business. A broker is a great way to start, and share the information. Discuss your business, like no different than you and I have, Justin.
Right.
It's vital for your advisor to have a true understanding of what you're doing, number one, so they can suggest, number two, the coverages that are going to suit your needs, and no more and no less. They're going to build a program that's specific to your needs. And yeah, it's going to be, you're going to spend some money on it, depending on the risk associated with it. When you're dealing with a fintech, or you're dealing with somebody that's, creating an app, or, there's a general contractor, there's totally different exposures there. So you build a program around that, and it will be priced based on, and everyone talks about price, but you get your coverages first, and then it's going to be priced based on your exposure and the coverages that you do or do not require.
And the risk that they're, essentially they are doing sort of their back end, what do you call it? What's the math?
The actuaries?
Actuarial science. Yeah. Actuarial math on the likelihood that you're going to have a claim in, whatever coverage that you're working under, right? So,
yeah, no, it's true. And that stuff, that's always really interesting when you look at loss ratios.
Right.
And right now we're in a hard market. And this video might be in 2 years, it might be totally different, where we're in a soft market, but
right.
Insurance is tough to come by right now. And it really is. What a hard market means is there's less companies writing insurance, which in any industry, when there's less competition, you're seeing prices go up.
Why is that? Like where did all the other companies go? Are they out of business because of COVID, or are they just?
It's not necessarily, we are seeing consolidation.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, we are seeing consolidation, but it's more, and not to bore you or the viewers, but it's more the back end. So you get a company like Intact Insurance, is the biggest insurance market in Canada,
right?
Or Aviva, or an RSA, who's actually just bought by Intact. Speaking of consolidation, those companies are financially supported by reinsurance markets, and you've probably heard of Swiss Re or Munich Re. So the insurance company will actually only insure the first 10% or 20% of a loss of their losses. Anything else is supported by reinsurance companies. When those reinsurance companies aren't making money because of high loss ratios, and if it's related to natural disasters like 2020, we just heard was the highest payout year in the history of insurance, and there truly wasn't, in my mind, there wasn't an absolute major hurricane that rolled through, but there was,
what was like, what were all
forest
the
fires, water damage,
right,
climate changes totally changing things, and then you take inflation on top of that.
Right.
What cost $100 5 years ago to rebuild might be $150 today. Construction costs are going through the roof.
Right.
And then you throw COVID and a pandemic in there, and things have changed even more. But yes, that going back, those reinsurance companies set more or less like an interest rate for the world to follow. And so if they increase their costs, we all pay for it. And that's on your home, your auto, your cottage, your business. It's just like an interest rate. And on the other side of that, speaking of interest rates, insurance companies get your premium up front. You pay your full premium on the day your insurance policy is bound for a renewal for your auto, or renewal for your home, or renewal for your business. They have 100% of that money up front. In years past, they're able to lend that money out like a bank would and make a return on it.
Right.
Now, with interest rates so low, insurance companies, half their industry, or pardon me, half their profits have been diluted because there's no value in lending money anymore.
Right.
And it's way more of a business behind the scenes than people realize. But at the end of the day, and not to bore you, because insurance isn't the most exciting topic.
No.
It makes things more expensive for us.
It's interesting. So you talk about I mean, I'm sure a lot of people aren't familiar with the reinsurance market and that aspect. And then obviously the putting your money to work, the fact that you're paying, upfront, and oftentimes they're loaning it back to you, and that's how they do your monthly payments. In essence,
You got it. Yeah, and they're making an interest on that.
Right. So they're usually lending. They're making you pay up front, but then they're lending it to you over a period of time. So they're probably taking that upfront premium from someone else and doing the arbitrage between the two, where they can borrow from and lend, and that's that margin. And obviously, if there's major shifts, that makes the business model less attractive to more, especially to more risky or riskier sort of lines or riskier markets. Right?
And that's the foundation of the industry. It's run by investors, and if investors aren't making money,
right,
they're not putting dough into it.
Right. Oh, yeah. No. It's literally an investment product. Like insurance is like it's literally trying to figure out how to make that margin between the payout and the premiums, right? So you want your payouts, very simply put, payouts. So premiums minus payouts, positive is good, negative bad, right?
And then you got to factor in their operating costs in there, and
all those other
levels.
aspects. Yeah, exactly, right? So
no, they all have a ratio where, and every market's slightly different based on operating costs, but a breaking point where they're no longer profitable, and if they're not profitable,
they just stop.
The end of that story.
Yeah, exactly. They're either out of business or they try and figure something else out. Right?
Yeah, they're increasing your rate.
Well, I guess the other option is they need to raise prices, right? So yeah. Interesting. So insurance, you've been in that game. Let's talk about your any hobbies, like where actually, let's take this back. Where can people find you?
Yeah, good question.
Why they can't find you, or you're not sure
where? No, they can't find me. Absolutely not. I like to stay
you're hidden in a bunker
under the radar.
You're in the networking type business, but yet you don't want anyone to know who you are.
Yeah.
So where can they find you? Can they find you online or
yeah, absolutely. You can just Google my name, SEAN Kennedy Insurance, and I am a broker, and I'm at Denell Insurance Brokers. Okay. And I'm happy to help if anyone's looking for some advice or somebody even just to review your policy. Half the time
sort of cutting out. I don't know if it's me or you.
Say, that's a pretty decent package you have there. You can show looking for.
Oh,
are you with me?
Sorry, I think my internet just kind of like crashed out there. I got it. Yeah. So you were saying, decent policy. You can review their policies, kind of go through stuff that way, right?
You got it.
Yeah. So I think my internet kind of froze. Cool. Well, Sean, I really appreciate you joining me on the show.
Thanks, Justin.
Sean Kennedy Insurance. Google them. What's your website? Denell?
Yes, I will. Is there a way I can put it up on the?
I can throw a link on the video. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'll send that to you after we chat.
Yeah. And are you on social media at all?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Where can they find you? Is this personal or business?
Everything's business, Justin.
Everything,
you know that.
Yeah, it's all business. So where can they find you on social?
On Instagram, Seaner, SEANER Kennedy. Okay. That is my Instagram handle, and I am available to chat.
How about TikTok?
No, sir.
Why not? You don't dance around?
I'm a little out of that age bracket.
Come on, it's for everybody, every age. You're younger than I am, so I'm sure you can.
Yeah, you got it.
I've been on TikTok. I have an account. I won't mention what it is right now, but I did it back in I joined actually about a year and a half ago in the fall of sort of 2019. And then when in around COVID started, my kids and we went to Cuba, and the whole week we were down there, we were doing videos all over the place. So
really?
They loved it. Yeah. So I got a few videos.
Before you go, I see the Bills logo in the background. That was a tough one. Sunday.
Bills. Yeah, where is it there? Let's see if I can
Yeah.
go this way.
Yeah.
Bills.
I was
Got some Oilers
devastated,
gloves.
buddy.
Yeah. Oh, it was little Raptors hat up here.
Yeah. Where's the Leaf gear?
Well, that's a Blue Jay hat actually with the Maple Leaf. I'm not a Leaf fan. I'm an Oilers fan.
Oh, sorry about your luck.
Yeah, exactly. But I got a little Bills mini bucket here too, and a Bills.
I love it. I got to get some
That's,
stuff back here.
Yeah, it was a tough loss. I don't know. It's you know, very few. I mean, this is probably a conversation, but we can talk about it on here anyways. Very few teams, very few players and teams like become really good and win like the first try.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're like, you look at, you know, I mean, go through sports in every sport, you know, there's always that, you know, they almost got there, and then they break through, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think, you know, obviously Tom Brady is unreal. He won at his first go, and kind of, you know, it was, you know, basically the sort of backup to stardom all in his first year. And, you know, I watched the stat, you know, he's arguably the first and second best quarterback of all time. Like if you split his career in half, he literally has played 2 Hall of Fame careers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like 10 Super Bowl appearances, 6, like it's unreal.
It's unbelievable.
So, but like, you know, you look at some of these other guys, you know, Mahomes he went there his first, you know, very early on, but it's always this like trajectory where like you win, you get a little better, you get better, and then you break through, right? So I think the Bills getting to the AFC Championship, if they can keep things together, like I know they've got the offensive coordinators kind of, you know, on the radar for, you know, head coaching jobs and stuff like that. So hopefully they can keep like a core nucleus. I think Josh Allen is you know, if he can sort of keep where he's at and maybe continue to grow a little bit each year, you know, I think there's some huge potential there. Him and Diggs and some of the other receivers keep those lines, you know, strong. You know, the O line and the D line. I think, you know, there's some definite, like, I think longevity there. I don't think it's a one and done, flash in the pan. Like we were lucky, you know, we're 9-9 and we got to the AFC with a couple of wins,
they look good.
right?
They look really good.
So I think it's going to be fun, kind of like we just went through with the Raptors for the past.
Yeah,
you know,
that was a nice
years.
ball. It might not be over yet.
The verdict's out. I'm pretty sure unless they do something, they're not a championship contender. They're gonna.
I think that's fair. That's a fair point.
They're gonna be a 500, maybe just a bit above 500 team. They'll win a few games. They'll be fun certain nights to watch. Other nights you'll be ripping your hair out, going, "Fuck, drive the net, fucking, you know." Don't shoot the 20-foot fadeaway spin around jumper. It's the least fucking, you know, it's like, talk about risk.
That was DeMar's specialty.
Well, that's it right now. Exactly. It's like, go either shoot the 3. I'm okay with that all day long, or go to the bucket, pass the ball around, and stop with this ISO ball the last 2 minutes. Like the whole game, it's like, you know, you're moving the ball around, getting movement on offense and kind of getting guys open. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, close game, 2 minutes left. Let's give the ball to Siakam and let him try and like ISO the whole team 3 times in a row and not score. Right.
It's
and then
frustrating.
Lose by 1, right? So anyways, that's my sports take.
There you go.
If you wanted, we just went from insurance to sports take, but
that's usually where it goes. People get sick of insurance quick.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can only talk about reinsurance so many times, right?
Oh yeah. Well, thanks for the platform.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Well, Sean, thank you very much for joining me. We'll talk soon.
Yes.
Everyone else, this is One Take, powered by backers, Justin Fox, Sean Kennedy, Seaner Kennedy. We're gonna get him on TikTok. He's gonna be dancing up a storm, and we're out. Awesome. Enjoy your day. Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers.
No judging.
Yeah.
No judging.
And the millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.